At 69, Yellowman's story has been an extraordinary one. Behind it all, the fame and spotlight, the laughter and the smiles, lie a tragedy that will leave you shocked. From being a rejected baby and growing up in different orphanages to struggling with stigmatization because of his albinism, Yellowman defied the odds to become Jamaica's dancehall king. His music gave hope to the hopeless, but life tested him in ways most of us could never imagine. And now, he's even facing a more devastating tragedy. What could have caused this tragedy, and how has it affected the life and career of the Jamaican legend? Join us in this video as we dive into the details. The tragedy of Yellowman was beyond heartbreaking, shaking the entertainment world. When doctors told Yellowman he had just 6 months to live, they had no idea who they were dealing with. This wasn't just another artist. This was a man who had already survived being abandoned as a child, mocked for his looks, and doubted at every step of the way. So, when cancer came knocking in the 1990s, Yellowman didn't fold. He fought. He grabbed the mic and turned his battle into fuel. In 1982, at the peak of his rise to fame, Yellowman got news that changed everything: skin cancer. For a man whose career depended on his energy, voice, and presence, that diagnosis was crushing. But giving up? That wasn't in his nature. Even after several surgeries, he didn't stop performing. He kept recording, kept touring, and fans had no idea of the war he was fighting behind the scenes. But that victory was short-lived. Between 1984 and 1986, things got worse. The cancer came back this time in his jaw. The tumor was aggressive, and doctors didn't sugarcoat the truth. If he wanted to survive, he'd need a major surgery fast. What happened next was brutal. Surgeons removed a large section of his lower left jaw to stop the spread. The operation saved his life, but it left a mark that could never be erased. His face was changed forever. For any artist, fame is hard enough with perfect health and confidence. But for Yellowman, the challenge was now on a whole other level. Most people would have walked away. Not him. Instead of hiding, Yellowman took time to heal and to plan his comeback. And in 1987, just a year after reconstructive surgery, he returned. Scarred, yes, but unbroken. He stepped back on stage with the same fire that made him a legend. But something inside him had changed. The wild party lyrics? They gave way to something deeper. Through pain, he found purpose. By the 1990s, Yellowman's music had evolved. He began addressing poverty, injustice, and inequality. His songs weren't just entertainment anymore, they were statements. And in 1997, he hit another high point. His album Freedom of Speech earned him a Grammy nomination for Best Reggae Album, proving that his second act was just as powerful as the first. What made this era unforgettable wasn't awards or fame. It was the truth. Every lyric carried the weight of a man who had been through hell and made it back. He wasn't chasing trends. He was telling his story about survival, dignity, and self-worth. And people listened. Yellowman's battle wasn't just physical, it was emotional and professional. The music industry isn't always kind to those who don't fit the mold. But instead of being pushed aside, he fought back. He shattered the idea that an artist has to look perfect to be loved. His story proved that real talent lives in resilience, not in appearances. Cancer tried to silence him. Life threw everything at him: his albinism, criticism for his lyrics, and even an industry that tried to box him in. But every time he came back swinging. And even after the surgery, even after the scars, Yellowman still lit up every stage he touched. He smiled, he joked, he connected. That kind of strength? It doesn't come easy. It's forged through pain, heartbreak, and a level of mental toughness most people never find. Today, Yellowman is more than a musician. He's a symbol, a living legend. His influence on dancehall is undeniable. His story? Unforgettable. He's proof that you can stare death in the face and keep dancing. And that's why, decades after his first hit, crowds still pack his shows, not just for the music, but for the man. Because when you've fought this hard to stay alive, every note means more. Doctors said 6 months, yet destiny had other plans. How did an abandoned boy rise to become a global icon? Stay tuned to find out more. When you think of the origins of dancehall, you can't ignore the raw, unapologetic force that is Yellowman. But before the lights, the fame, and the flashy suits, he was just Winston Foster, a little boy the world tried to forget. Abandoned at birth and treated like a ghost in his own country, Yellowman's early life reads more like a tragedy than the beginning of a musical legacy. Still, somehow, against all odds, he survived. Born in Kingston, Jamaica, Winston Foster didn't get the warm welcome most babies do. His parents walked away shortly after his birth, most likely because he was born with albinism. In a country where superstition and stigma ran deep, albinism wasn't just misunderstood, it was feared. Instead of love and lullabies, Yellowman's earliest memories were shaped inside orphanages, including the Maxfield Children's Home and later the Alpha Boys School, a Catholic-run vocational home that produced some of Jamaica's finest musicians. But don't get it twisted. This wasn't some feel-good story where music saved him from the start. Life in the orphanage was anything but easy. Foster endured daily ridicule from kids and adults alike. Whispered insults, mocking stares, and outright cruelty became part of his childhood, all because of the way he looked. In a society that didn't understand how to treat someone who looked different, he became an easy target. And yet, he found a way to take all that pain and flip it into power. Rather than shrinking into the shadows, he gave himself a name that forced people to look at him. Yellowman, bold, brazen, brilliant. After a childhood filled with struggles and pain, how did Yellowman turn his life around and step into the world of music? Keep watching to find out. In the late 1970s, Yellowman began carving his name into Jamaican music history. He first gained attention in 1978 when he finished second to Nadine Sutherland in the Tasty Talent Contest, a huge platform for upcoming talent. But that wasn't enough for him. The very next year, he came back stronger and won the contest outright, officially launching his professional career. Like many DJs in Jamaica at the time, Yellowman sharpened his craft on the streets, performing at outdoor sound system dances, most notably with the legendary Aces International. These sessions became his training ground, a place where he developed the style that would soon make him a superstar. By the early 1980s, his success as a recording artist exploded. Working with famed producer Henry Junjo Laws, Yellowman dropped hit after hit. His popularity grew so fast that in 1981 he made history as the first dancehall artist to sign with a major American label, Columbia Records. In 1982, he released his debut studio album, Mr. Yellowman, followed by Zungu Zungu Gu Zungu Zeng in 1983. These albums brought instant success and cemented his reputation as one of dancehall's most exciting voices. But with fame came controversy. Yellowman's sexually charged lyrics in songs like Mad Over Me, filled with boasts about his prowess, earned him heavy criticism in the mid-1980s. Many labeled it slackness, a term for explicit or risque lyrics. Yellowman pushed back, saying, "I never know why they call it slackness. I talk about sex, but it's just what happens behind closed doors. What I talk is reality." While performing with Aces, Yellowman often teamed up with Vernon "Fathead" Rainford, who later became a frequent collaborator in the studio. The 1980s would go on to be Yellowman's most productive decade, with him releasing around 20 albums under various labels. Some of his iconic titles included Mr. Yellowman, Duppy or Gunman, Bad Boy Skanking, and the legendary Zungu Zungu Gu Zungu Zeng. In 1983, he appeared in the Jamaican dancehall showcase Volcano High Power, performing alongside other major names like Massive Dread, Josie Wales, Burro Banton, and Eka Mouse. By then, he was dominating the scene. In 1984, Yellowman released King Yellowman, his debut under Columbia Records. But this album didn't hit the mark. Critics slammed it for trying to incorporate elements of rhythm and blues and disco sounds that didn't sit well with hardcore dancehall fans. The album flopped commercially, and Columbia eventually dropped him. But Yellowman didn't crumble. By 1987, he scored another major hit with his version of Blueberry Hill, which stayed at #1 in Jamaica for several weeks. This track had a special connection. Yellowman had met Fats Domino earlier in the decade when the American legend visited Jamaica. Domino even gifted him a copy of his original version, which inspired Yellowman's take on the classic. As the years went by, Yellowman's music began to evolve. By the mid-1990s, he shifted toward more socially conscious themes, following a trend led by stars like Buju Banton. His transformation reached its peak in 1994 with the release of Prayer, an album that traded slackness for spirituality, as Yellowman expressed gratitude to God for both his success and his survival after cancer. Yellowman's influence wasn't just local, it was global. He toured worldwide with his Sagittarius band, performing in countries like Nigeria, Spain, Peru, Sweden, Italy, Germany, Britain, France, Kenya, and across the United States and Canada. Fans everywhere embraced him as a legend. His impact also earned him prestigious recognition. Yellowman was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Reggae Album twice, first in 1985 for King Yellowman and again in 1998 for Freedom of Speech. He became the first dancehall artist to receive a nomination in that category. And in 2018, his legacy was honored at the highest level when the Jamaican government awarded him the Order of Distinction Officer class, a fitting tribute to a man who started with nothing and rose to change music forever. While the world saw a superstar, what kind of life did Yellowman live off the stage? Let's find out. Through all the fame, struggles, and personal battles, one constant in Yellowman's life has been his wife, Rosie. She's been with him since the very beginning of his musical journey, standing by his side through the highs and the heartbreaking lows. Together, they've raised a beautiful family, one built on love, strength, and music. Yellowman isn't just a reggae icon, he's also a passionate NBA fan. Back in the mid-1990s, at the height of his career, he even attended several games in the U.S. His love for basketball was so deep that he named one of his sons after the legendary Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But the real star in his family story is his daughter, Karima. Following in her father's footsteps, she stepped into the music world at a young age, often joining Yellowman on tour as a child. Over the years, their bond only grew stronger on and off the stage. In 2016, father and daughter came together to release a heartfelt single titled Father's Love. The track celebrated their unbreakable connection and touched fans worldwide, racking up more than 2,400,000 views on YouTube. They've shared stages at major events like Rebel Salute and Reggae Rotterdam, proving that music runs deep in the Foster family bloodline. Karima didn't stop at performing. She went on to build something bigger. She founded Yellow Baby Records, a family-run label that includes her father and her brothers, Kamar and Co. This wasn't just a business move, it was a statement of intent to keep the Foster musical legacy alive for generations to come. Her personal life has been just as beautiful. In 2021, Karima married American marketing executive Omar Johnson in a stunning ceremony. For Yellowman, walking his daughter down the aisle was more than just a father's duty. It was a proud moment of triumph, a reminder of everything he had fought through to see this day. He shared his joy publicly, and fans celebrated with him. Today, Karima continues to make waves in the music scene, sharing her work on platforms like SoundCloud and staying connected with fans on social media. Just like her father, she blends talent with passion, carrying forward the name and the values that Yellowman built against all odds. His life off stage was almost perfect, but what impact did Yellowman have on global music today? Climbing the quiet, verdant hills that lead to a house peeking over a rambunctious Kingston, Winston Foster, better known to the world as Yellowman, reflected on a musical career that has attracted both affection and ire from reggae fans. In the early 80s, after the passing of Bob Marley, fans of Jamaican popular music were yearning for a new star who could embody Marley's rebel spirit and roots reggae sound. What they got instead was Yellowman, an albino artist who delivered rebelliousness through an irreverent, comic, and catchy style laid over a bold new sound called dancehall. Though some of his songs carried political messages, what truly defined his music were his ribald lyrics, what Jamaicans called slackness. These provocative, playful verses propelled him to global fame and, in the process, helped shift perceptions of albinism. Once mistreated, ostracized, and regarded as almost contagious, albinos in Jamaica were often shunned as outcasts. But in Yellowman songs, they became symbols of desirability, confidence, and raw charisma. "Hi, my name is Yellowman, and in the ghetto they call me Mr. Sexy," he declares in one of his iconic tracks, before repeatedly boasting, "Them a mad over me, girl a go crazy over me." The bawdy flavor of his music aside, these lyrics carried something deeper. They used humor and boldness to challenge the imagination and break barriers. Albinos were never on the forefront of society, he said, speaking with pride about using music as a tool to break down that barrier. In his voice, there's the weight of defiance and the pride of triumph. "I'm a soldier," Yellowman said. But he hardly needs to insist. His entire life is a testament to resilience. In 1984, just as he was stepping onto the global stage, Yellowman was diagnosed with cancer and given only a few years to live. Surgery removed the tumor along with a significant portion of his face, but none of his spirit, none of his wit, and none of his fight. Against all odds, he's still here. Still here. He says it like a mantra, gumption and gratitude woven into every syllable. "I can't stop. I cannot stop. I don't see myself stopping because I grow with this in me. Music. This talent is not influenced by anybody. This talent was handed down to me by the Almighty. And it shows." On stage, Yellowman is pure electricity, running, jumping, dancing, even dropping down for push-ups between songs. His energy is infectious, his charisma undeniable. When I tell them to jump, they jump. When I tell them to sing, them sing, he marvels, still amazed that the boy who once lived in an orphanage could one day command crowds across Jamaica, North America, Asia, and Africa. Off stage, he is warm, funny, and generous, punctuating his sentences with "understand" and "you know," phrases that make conversation feel like call and response, just like his live shows. Yet the slackness, the raunchy humor that made him a superstar, still spark debate. Why listen? Yellowman himself admits his children don't hear those songs. "I don't make them listen to those types of songs. They have to focus on the right way," he explains. People listen to Yellowman not for the slackness or even the political commentary. People listen because his music challenges them to rethink identity, resilience, and joy. People listen to feel the exuberance of his sing-song voice skipping across bouncy rhythms, to witness how someone abandoned and ridiculed found refuge and victory in music. People listen to him for the thrill of sound, the motion of bodies, the ambition that shouts, "Still here." When asked how he was raised, Yellowman responded, "Me did find myself in an orphanage." Before the orphan days, the childhood days, in the baby days, the people who found me found me in a shopping bag in a trash can. Garbage bin. The garbage collector found me, took me to that orphanage, Maxfield Park Children's Home. That's where I find myself as a little child growing up. And from there, I moved to another orphanage home, Swift Purcell. After a few years there, I moved to Alpha Boys Home. And from Alpha Boys Home, I moved to Eventide Home. Not really an orphanage home, it's a home for people who are neglected. While I'm in Eventide Home, I start to develop the music thing. After that, I say, make me try the studios. I start to go to studios, and then I get turned away from all the studios. From Joe Gibbs, Channel 1, MusicWorks, Aquarius, Sonic Sounds, Dynamic Sounds, all of them. I got turned out. People run me away. Because back in the day, the skin color, it was very difficult discrimination me did face. Even now, I still face it. Growing up in that way, I put all of them things together and make it strength. The way how me come up in the music business, the way how people discriminate and disrespect, rip off, turn me away from studios, all of those things I put together as strength. He made reggae a global voice, but how is Yellowman remembered today? Let's find out. Once celebrated as the undisputed king of dancehall and recognized worldwide for his unmistakable voice and magnetic stage presence, Yellowman continues to surprise and inspire in 2025, not by slowing down, but by doubling down on his legacy. The artist, once counted out by doctors, dismissed by society, and underestimated by critics, is still here, still working, and still making noise both on and off the stage. Now, in his late 60s, the legendary DJ who defied every odd albinism, poverty, and cancer has re-emerged with a renewed sense of purpose that extends far beyond the music charts. Today, Yellowman isn't just a performer. He is a living, breathing symbol of resilience and reinvention. In recent years, his live shows have become something more than entertainment. They're spiritual experiences, blending high-energy nostalgia with powerful messages of perseverance and peace. On stage, Yellowman takes time to reflect on his past struggles, his fight with a life-threatening illness, and the prejudice he endured growing up, turning performances into moments of connection. His voice, aged like finely fermented dub, still carries the rebellious rhythm that made him a star, but with a deeper, wiser tone. And these days, it's not just his sound that commands attention, it's his words. Despite a face marked by time and surgery, his influence cuts deeper than ever. Yellowman has taken on the role of an elder statesman of reggae, using his platform to advocate for social change, especially among the youth. He speaks passionately about anti-violence, challenging the direction of modern dancehall and hip-hop. For him, music should uplift, not destroy, and he's unafraid to call for lyrics with more meaning and less glorification of materialism and aggression. His artistry has evolved into something profound, a fusion of classic reggae sensibilities with sharp cultural critique. And he's not doing it alone. Yellowman has embraced mentorship, frequently collaborating with up-and-coming Jamaican artists, both in the studio and in live jam sessions. Among his most meaningful partnerships is with his daughter Karima, now a performing artist in her own right. Together, they co-produce music that bridges generations, rooted in unity and change. Their chemistry is more than blood, it's a shared fire for purpose-driven music. Off-stage, Yellowman's life remains as grounded as his music is expansive. Interestingly, Yellowman has also become an unexpected wellness advocate, sharing how he's adapted his lifestyle to maintain health in his later years. From herbal remedies to juice detox tips, he's candid about what it takes to keep going after everything he's faced. And it's working. His energy on stage remains electric, drawing crowds that now span generations. Many of his fans weren't even born during his peak in the 1990s, yet his appeal remains timeless. His lyrics, once razor-sharp and laced with slack wit, now carry a layer of introspection without losing that infectious bounce. What are your thoughts on this? Let's know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.